Hello, welcome to the stream. How are we doing today? We're obviously going to be talking about Man City news, getting a new stream in because Jack Gaughan came out with a bit of information earlier. So we're going to look into that as much as we can, as well as stuff outside of that. So, yeah, big ups to everyone who's tuning in. Let's move with this. Let's move. So I will get the share screen up. Of course, you can't see anything right now, I'm afraid. And we'll hop straight into here and City Extra. And we'll start here. So we'll start on these, okay, but then we'll actually click on the article in just a minute. But yeah, big ups to everyone who is tuning in here. Yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle in some of the City news recently, but I wanted to get something in today. Now then, Jack Gaughan on Man City, summer transfer window. I think a goalkeeper comes in. There was a thought that they might go for a keeper in January. They're in need of another midfielder and a fullback. They've been closely looking at Cambiasso at Juventus, as we already know. It all depends on who wants to leave and how much money they can get for certain players, without discussing the Club World Cup, the impact on the squad. The Club World Cup is going to be a very strange one for us. It does make you wonder how summer business is going to work, because our club's going to want to lose their players. As the Club World Cup comes around, especially if it's like one of your better players. It really is something to take into consideration here. So I'm very curious. But look, goalkeeper, we literally discussed on the other day. Of course, someone has put in, I believe that's Mike Minen, AC Milan. Yeah, I think that is Mike Minen. But I mean, Lucas Chevalier, younger, seems to be on fire. Maybe you could argue roll of the dice, but let's roll with it then. Why not? But yeah, look, we knew most of this stuff, but it's nice to have someone reliable actually come and touch on it. Look, Cambiasso, I don't know what I think to him. I'm not going to sit and say I watch him all the time, because I don't. But I've looked at that injury record. It's worrying. And I'd prefer to get someone with less of an injury record. Yes, this is Sissy. Big ups. Welcome to the chat. How are you doing? I'm currently looking at Jack Gaughan's quotes. Man, international break, by the way. Don't know what it is. It's nice to have a break from watching us play, in the sense of how bad we are. But man, it just feels empty, to some extent. I don't know. I want to upload a video soon, but nonetheless, though, the goalkeeper, this guy wants Mike Minen, clearly, but for me, we should be looking at that Chevalier. Honestly, this break is so dry. I know, honestly, I want to talk about City news, but there is nothing, and I'm not talking about the verdict of the 115. I'll speak about the 115 properly when we hear about that. Apparently it's next week, but apparently it was this week as well. So look, I'm just going to believe it when I see it at this rate. But yeah, to wrap up on this segment, look, we know that we're interested in Cambiasso. Goalkeeper doesn't surprise me. I'd like it to be Chevalier. Midfielder, though, which is good. We do need midfield. I'm going to guess they're only counting for if the squad doesn't split off, if we don't lose many bodies. But we need to bring in a bit more than what he's suggesting there anyway. It was so dry, I just did 2.5 hours last night talking about whatever. Yeah, I might just do one of those. I might do just a talking about whatever stream. No specific topic. Right now I'm talking about Jack Gaughan. Okay, but I might just do a stream where we just waffle. Doesn't even need to be all football, just talking, because I want to do content. I do, and of course I want to do City content, but this break is making it so difficult. These breaks do so much damage to our channels. I was doing so well, uploaded news video for the first time, got 2.3k views, and then international break. I know, I genuinely get what you mean. Games, they don't just fill in a couple of slots, they do a little bit more than that. The games, it's, you can look at your style of play, look at what you want to judge and all that. It's so difficult, international breaks. I guess I can do international watch-alongs, but I don't know, something about it. Have I seen the KFC advert? I haven't. Is it the type of thing I want to have on my stream? I'll have a look at it in another tab. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, but big ups for tuning in. KFC. No, that's February 10th. I must be new KFC advert. Right, here we go. Oh no. What am I watching? I'm just trying to see what's going on. Oh god. Why would you advertise something like that? What? Why would you advertise that? Oh my lord. Like, you can, if you just replace the person with a chicken, that advert is absolutely fine. I still think it looked weird, but if you just replace the person with a chicken, you're laughing. But oh my jeez. Games get me over 700 views every week. Preview, watch, and review. I missed that. Basically, yeah. Oh my lord. Safe to say, thousands of KFC, huge backlash. It's disturbing for me, and I was trying to say the serving is human. You should see the backlash and comments on rightfully so. Yeah, I mean, look, I doubt. I quite like KFC too. You know, I'm not going to say I have it every week, but look, I doubt I am eating a person. I don't know what they're trying to imply of it. Actually, I can't back them here. I can't defend them. That is so crazy. That is so crazy. Wow. Who authorized that? Because you gotta remember, when it comes to making adverts, yeah, someone will come up with it. Okay, and then a group of people will probably discuss that idea. Okay, and then they'll all be like, let's do this instead. Okay, or let's put that in there. You know, okay, and then they'll be like, that sounds like a good pitch. Let's bring it to the guys. Let's bring it to the main board. All right, and then they'll bring it to the main board. This is what we want to do. And the main board will be like, okay, that's a pretty cool idea. Maybe they'll be like, maybe tweak a little thing or two, but other than that, that's pretty good. We'll use that. That it's a whole stages thing. How does that get approved? That's wild. Sorry for off topic, just for it's interesting. Yeah, no, it's absolutely fine. I ain't got tons to talk about in the stream anyway. You know, off topic international break talk, absolutely fine by me. You know, and not that it's not anyway. You know, I don't mind talking off topic from time to time. But yeah, especially it goes especially for international break. The worse the season is, the more likely Pep stays. So you're treading water, really, waiting for the next season. Look, I think if there were any doubts about Pep's position as first team coach, I don't think there's any doubt now. He's not leaving in this season. You know, there's no way. Whether it's probably because he wants to leave the club on like a proper good high. It creeps me out on TV every time West Wingers connect when City are losing at halftime. That's gonna. Oh no, yeah. Like I'm gonna see that. I'm gonna be like, oh no, it's the KFC advert. Oh, thinking heck. But look, I like this mentality. You know, some people might be like, that makes no sense. Why would you keep your coach if the season gets worse and worse? But I feel like this is almost like Pep's decision, in a sense. You know, obviously the board has some impact. You know, that Pep's not above the club, but yeah, I think that is partly down to Pep. He's basically saying like, I don't want to leave in a bad state. Treading water, waiting for next season. We have FA Cup and top 5 to achieve. Look, FA Cup top 5 is we've got to get it, don't we? If we don't get top 5, I can't imagine. I genuinely can't see myself doing Thursday night watch-alongs. It feels wrong in my head. It genuinely does. It feels just awful to think about. You know, I can't picture it. But the fact that that is a possible reality, oh, it's not pretty. Big ups to everyone who's tuning in. Make sure to hit the likes on the stream, if you will. Every like is appreciated. Now then, Erling Haaland was in the picture here, so we're going to go to what he said. He spoke on Oscar Bob's recovery. Erling Haaland, Oscar Bob, progression is good. He's playing with Man City's second team and is back from a long-term injury. Takes time to return for being out so long. Hopefully he'll be in shape soon. Be nice to see him on the bench, at least for Bournemouth. Probably a bit too soon. Maybe I'm being optimistic, but I think that'd be nice if he could at least be on the bench for City. You know, but I really want to see Echeverry that game. Like, if he's not even on bench, not even being considered an option, ugh, stinks. See if we've got anything else here. But again, nice to see that he's doing good. McAtee, solid game for the under-21s. 1 goal, 1 assist. Pretty solid. I didn't actually watch the Southgate, the Tuchel game, his first game in charge. What do we how was Phil? How was England on a whole? Not that I really care. The worse they are, the better. England World Cup or City League? I'm not an England fan, so City League every day of the week. City League. Foden, absolutely terrible connect. Oh, but the connect. I was hoping maybe he could have a solid game. 74 minutes, 52 touches, 41% passing accuracy, 41 accurate passes, 91% passing accuracy, 2 duels, 2 passes final third, 2 touches in the opponent box, 1 accurate long ball. This just kind of feels like the Phil we're watching currently, to be honest. Doesn't really feel like it's changed. Worst player on the pitch. Who do you support? That's a secret for a future date. I do want to reveal it one day. I feel like I cherish the next trophy. We win so much after this season. It's going to feel a lot better, isn't it? Like a lot bigger, because to an extent it felt like a given winning the Prem. Like not fully. I think England are poor overall. Honestly, lucky is Albania. Yeah, they've got to be tested against a top team, don't they? They've got to be tested against one of the bigger guys, and I suppose they will be. Oh, Rico won a pen. Oh, Harvey Elliott. Nice. Meeting with the president. Fair play. Any idea how Marmouche did? That was 20 hours ago. I can have a quick search. Egypt FC. 2-0 full time. Mo Salah with a goal. Any assists for Marmouche, maybe? Oh well, nothing. Oh well, at least he got some minutes in. Doesn't look like he got injured either. Played most of the game. It's raining and it's warm. Bye bye winter. Thank you. Yeah, I'm so glad that the winter is truly basically over now. You know, might get the occasional cold winter breeze, but for the most part, we're through it now. About to enter April. Oh, well, I said about to enter April. We still got a little bit of time in March. Haaland on potential consequence. I'm obviously not afraid of that if I sign a 9.5-year contract. I mean, yeah, for me, I think people need to take this into account. You know, I think it's another reason why I'm a bit confident going into 115. Okay, again, I'm not going to talk about much. I don't know anything about it. Okay, but again, like, would you sign basically a 10-year deal if there wasn't assurance around that situation? You know, would you sign that? Would you pin your future down? Is it going to be a war chest summer for you lot? Yeah, it's looking like it. Genuinely, what's up with Phil? Next season he has to perform, or we could go down the Mount of Rashford route, connecting your. That's a really that's a really good the comparison you brought up there, Rashford and Mount. I mean, yeah, we spoke on Blue Friday show, Alf, Luke, and I. Look, Wirtz is coming into. Let's just say we signed Wirtz. I think last year was a flash in the pan for Foden. Like, to an extent, wait there. I will go back to this because I think that's a really good point. Like Rashford's 22-23 season. I understand what you're saying there, and whilst I'm not going to outright call you wrong, I also think that's a solid point comparing it to Rashford's 22-23 season as well. Solid point, but at the same time, even in previous seasons, Phil has never been this bad. Even in his first proper breakout season, he wasn't this bad. He wasn't this off the pace. Last year, Foden, looking back, was definitely not our best player. It was very clearly Rodri. Yeah, Rodri, much like, it's the whole attackers versus midfielders thing, isn't it? Midfielders, specifically a player like Rodri, he's not going to get the headlines all that often. But Foden was the headlines player. He was the England superstar, finally tapping into his potential fully. The academy lad from Manchester that we've all watched grow over the years, and you're finally seeing that talent. I can't tell you how much I want Wirtz, man. He got a bit of an ego after the year, saying he's the best English player along those lines. To be fair, I believe he partly said those things because he got awarded with those rewards. PFA, English Player of the Year, something like that. Obviously, he got Premier League Player of the Year. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but yeah, it's a solid point. That people in my chat telling me last night we should move on from Wirtz because we're second choice. In my opinion, it's a talent just because of Wirtz. You don't just move on. You convince him. Yeah, I mean, for me, look, if we go. For me, there's no excuses. If we start negotiations with Wirtz, the only way we should be losing it is if we get outbid, for example. Like, Real Madrid just outdo us, okay? We can't do anything about it. Hands are tied, okay, for example. For me, that's the only excuse that we should have, I'm sorry, the moment you start talking, you should know that you're spending over 100 million, whether you're giving them the same McAtee or not. You should know that. There's not a doubt in my mind that should come to your head the moment you start talking to them. Third mentality, if I ever win a trophy in my career again, what's that, man? Yeah, it should be when I win. It shouldn't, that he's treating this season like the end of the world. And look, it's been awful, but we need to look up, chin up type thing. If you get Wirtz, does Foden start? Because Veen doesn't score, but he does create a lot. I think it's a solid point. I do think you can fit Phil and Wirtz into the same midfield for certain games. It just depends on the system you play. I think because Rodri, he can cover that 6 role by himself. And as long as Phil and Wirtz are willing to pull their weight and drop back and help, which they should be, they are top footballers that should know to backtrack. Then I think it can roll like that. But I don't want Phil playing next to Wirtz if he's gonna be stinking at the park like this. He'll get another knockdown when Wirtz his mentality seems very fragile now. Right now, we need to protect Phil, but we also need to be clear on Phil. I want Phil to be good. Okay, we need to protect him to some extent. Okay, obviously criticize him in all the bad games he has. Obviously, I'm not defending him on that. I'm merely saying that we need to not crush him. Is essentially we need to make our feelings clear. Okay, he needs to know that we think he's played poor. He needs to know that we think he's been one of the poorest individuals in our season. So keeper right back 10, is that your window? I suspect if other players leave, we'll do more than that. But that could very well be our window, really. Yeah, a keeper, right back, and a 10. Dependent on players that leave. I think more players are going to go, which means more players will need replacing them. Yes, big up. Oliver Jensen, I believe you were on Alpha Varka stream last night, so big ups to you. Yo, dude, Barca, is it? When's that happening? Or is this like a joke? Oh, it's a Barcelona Legends thing, I think. I think it's a Legends thing. I can't wait for next season. Fluid football, fingers crossed. Yeah, 2 fullbacks, 2 keepers, 2 fullbacks, 2 midfielders for me. Yeah, I think we definitely need to be looking at that. But big ups to everyone who's in the chat right now. Make sure to hit the likes if you haven't already. Each one is obviously appreciated. I've scrolled quite far there, so let's scroll back up. Hey, Haaland, let's go. Erling Haaland on the score sheet. When isn't he? He's having a great season, Haaland. No one can take that away from him. Let's have a quick look at Haaland and his numbers. It's still so good, the fact that he's keeping up with his numbers despite the poor season that so many players are having around him. I think how much been in starting 11, playing a ridiculous amount of minutes. Like started almost every Premier League game. I think he's only not started like Liverpool. To my knowledge, yeah, the Liverpool 2-0 loss. Started every other one, playing an unbelievable amount of minutes, and he can only be clapped for it, considering, he had a couple injuries last season, but he has been full ham this season. Like, look how many 90s he's completing. But do you know what it's reminiscent of? It's reminiscent of Rodri. It's reminiscent of Rodri for me. And we need to be careful on that. To be fair, for this part of the season, there was no Marmouche to rotate with Haaland. Okay? This goes all the way up until January. Since January, he's been getting rotated a little bit. Don't get me wrong, still completing 90 minutes most games. Okay, but we just need to watch it. Why are people saying Vardio's our best player this season? I love it, but absolutely no way. Haaland, by far, no debate. The fact that Haaland is still keep maintaining a high level, okay, despite all the poor seasons other players are having around him. Don't get me wrong, it's not Haaland's. It's one of his best seasons to a respect. Sure, numbers aren't as good, but they're not going to be when the players around you can't deliver as you've wanted them to in previous seasons. Okay, but the fact that he's still almost hitting 30 goals is still crazy to me. No disrespect, but City's team got bamboozled. In general this season, or in like a recent game? How do you mean? Cancelo ain't a fullback for me. Ain't a full-on full. No, he's not full-on fullback. There's no way. He's too attacking to be a full-on fullback, if you ask me. He had so many defensive weaknesses. People got Trent for defensive weaknesses. Cancelo, he was not great either. He was not. He did not have a shiny medal. The only games Haaland had rest in are the cup games, which we got knocked out of in October, and League 2 teams, League 2, League 1, Championship. In general, I just think, I don't know if bamboozled the right word. I think the poor season for me. Players just off the pace. Certain players are too old for it now. I think you can have midfielders above 30. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think your entire midfield can consist of midfielders above 30. Because at the moment, that's what it is. Rodri's not a midfielder for us right now. He hasn't been all season. Not to his fault, not ours. Okay, well, to an extent ours, because we rushed him back. But yeah, Rodri's still well and truly out. and hasn't been a midfielder for us this season. Okay, and he just hasn't. But next season he'll be back, and obviously that'll be good for us. Well, we have Nico Williams now as well. To be fair, no, Nico Williams, not Nico Williams. He plays for Bilbao, right? He's that Spanish winger. I heard De Bruyne is getting replaced by Wirtz. That's the idea. Yeah, that's the idea. Big up, by the way, Christian KNV. I swear you tuned in like ages ago, and I just can't remember. I swear this isn't your first time on it. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I think I'm wrong. Don't know why. I just feel like I recognise you. Also, someone else said that it's not Prem proven. Okay, neither was KDB and Marmoush Company Sana. I think Prem proven, it only goes so far. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to get a Prem proven player, but it doesn't mean they're gonna do it at your club. Look at Premier League proven players that we've signed that have not hit the heights we'd hoped them to. Calvin Phillips, he's on loan to Ipswich right now at the age of 29 or 28. Jack Grealish, don't get me wrong, he's had good moments. Treble season, that second half of the season, great stuff. But I don't even think he's got 30 goal contributions in his time with City. And he's been here for, almost... This is his 4th season with us. Marmoush going to be incredible next season, but yeah, I don't doubt Marmoush. 4 goals this season. Okay, but I do not doubt him. He looks amazing. Again, it's just getting the players around him to help him. I think he's going to be top. Next season, one to watch for sure. It's impossible for Wirtz to flop. Just like I said at the time, it's impossible for Haaland to flop. I know the people saying that Haaland would flop. Dare I say the Rory Jennings look at him. That I don't. Will any take ever top that from anyone in terms of football? 15 goals would be a great season for Haaland in the Premier League. What are we talking about here? Ended up smashing the Premier League record. I don't think I've ever seen a take so incorrect. But yeah, I don't think Wirtz flops. Okay, the most I can see is maybe in a small adjustment period. But if we got any sense, we'll bring him in pre-season so he's got plenty of time to learn the system, just like Haaland did. We didn't sign Haaland on deadline day in August. We signed Haaland in May. That deal was done in May. It was paid the release clause. It was all done. We had the here we go. The deal was done. Okay, and then July 1st or June 1st, whenever he joins the club, I think it's June, he joins the club and he gets training. And that's why he hit the ground running as he did, if you ask me. Okay, if Haaland's a deadline day signing, don't get me wrong, still think he has a great season. But I think it's a bit more of an adjustment period for him. It's the one thing I would say. But he had that adjustment period. He had his pre-season. And as long as we do the same with it, I don't know how it goes wrong. I understand that it can. There's always the chance, but no. It's done before Club World Cup. I want him around the squad in the Club World Cup. What do you think, Connect? I would love that, but I just need to know for my own peace of mind, are Leverkusen in it? Because if they are in the Club World Cup, there's not a chance they give them up. Alright, don't think they are in it. Yeah, again, I would like to see that as well, Give him the games he needs to adjust. Club World Cup can act as a longer preseason for him. Haaland signed deadline day, we lose to Palace and we don't come back. Yeah, 2-0 down at half-time, weren't we? Incredible, that. Remember when we were 3-1 down to Newcastle? Yeah, treble season had its hiccups, didn't it? You just look back and you think about the good stuff though, don't you? That final quarter of the season where we just locked in. Talcy, focus to the chat. Yo, I'm on my other account. Big ups to you, lad. How you doing? We're kind of wrapping up here. We spoke a bit about City news, but kind of started waffling about other stuff too. So, yeah, here we are. But big ups for tuning in. I believe Haaland is still 2-0 up with his side, FYI. See if there is anything to look at here. Worse it gets, more likely he stays. Nah. Oh, wait, no. It all depends on who wants to leave and how much money they can get for certain players, and that's without discussing the World Cup. The Club World Cup. Sorry, it's getting that mixed up. Ah, man. Nah, nothing else. Looks like those quotes on City Extra really covered everything. I received a second strike from YouTube on my main account. Unlucky. I hope you get it. Hope it's all cool. Were you more of a Pep or Jose admirer growing up? Well, you see, when I was growing up, I kind of grew up after Jose's brilliant work in Porto and all that, and his early stuff at Chelsea. I was more just a Man City admirer. I truly got into football, when it truly clicked in my brain. I truly got into it when I was about 7, where I just loved playing football. I loved watching football. I loved learning the players' names, learning the shirts. I loved the transfer window. That's when it truly clicked in my head. That I just loved everything about football. And when I was about 7, it wasn't too. Aguero was the guy I looked at for me. But then when De Bruyne came, and he was just brilliant, I've always looked at him since then. I still love Sergio though. Don't get me wrong. Have we ever seen news this dead? If we have, it's been a while. Look at this. Most of this is just covering international games. Jack Gaughan on this day, 11 years ago today. Again, covering the England game. All the internationals. No place for Phil Foden in the strongest 11. Speaking about Sky Sports there. On this day. Happy birthday. Again, stats on individual players versus certain clubs or certain countries, really. And look, I'm already almost back to when we were playing games. Happy birthday. A few quotes from players here. Nothing we haven't spoken about. It's so hard to do videos at the moment and all that. Did you see Alf Aguero tweet? I do think I caught a glimpse of it. We briefly spoke about Sergio. And I know he was saying... He said something about Suarez, didn't he? Have a look at Alf. Big ups to Alf, by the way. Make sure to follow him. Okay. Where should we look? Looking at a lot of tweets. Aguero's incredibly overrated. Comparing him to the likes of Suarez and Lewandowski, Haaland is embarrassing. If he never scored, people, even if he won all the same trophies. We were chatting ITKs last night, haha. You caught a glimpse of it. Looking at glimpse, always in the shadows, waiting for the moment. Welcome to the stream, lad. So we're all hiding when Liverpool win the league. Do you agree that this season has been the worst in terms of Big Six quality and relegation? It's definitely not been the best. I've been watching a stream on my TV. Can't comment, so I moved it to my phone. Well, big ups, glimpse. I think the Haaland take is very interesting. We spoke about it a bit more in depth on the show. Now, I understand what he's saying in terms of Suarez and Lewandowski numbers, because they do have ridiculous numbers. Like, let me have a look at Sergio's overall record. He's got 685 85 games under his belt with 335 goals and 112 assists. If you're counting every single match he's ever played, not just including City. If you wanted to go just off City, though, 275 matches, 184 goal contributions, and 184 goals and 47 assists. So way over 200 there. Suarez numbers for Liverpool or Barca better. Well, he wasn't at Liverpool for super long. Barca swiped him up, but I know his numbers at Liverpool are pretty good. Look, I understand what he's trying to say, Alf, and I'm not going to call him wrong. Okay, because again, Suarez and Lower have brilliant numbers. But last night I did come to Sergio's defence a bit, and I mentioned the fact that obviously injury record isn't great for Sergio. I don't know what it's like for Suarez and for Lewandowski, to be fair, but I know it isn't great for Aguero. He got multiple injuries this season, sadly. It smells so strong of the smell when it's not rained in a while outside. Random, I know. Isn't just me who can smell that as well. Well, fun fact about me, I don't have a very good sense of smell. Okay, never really have. And do you know what's quite awkward about that? It was quite awkward during COVID, during the whole COVID stuff, lockdown, because a symptom for having COVID was was like losing your sense of smell. And so I wasn't very loud about it. And so whenever I got told to smell something, I was like, yeah, smells good, but I couldn't smell it. And I wasn't going to say it because then people would be like, so you're sitting right next to me and you've basically just said you got COVID. I was like, no, yeah. So yeah, that was something at that time. Remember COVID lockdown and when it's sunny every day? Man, it's such a distant memory to look back on. Looking out your window at like 12 o'clock, no one outside, despite the weather, whether it was raining, whether it was sunny. What did Alf say? He basically said Aguero is incredibly overrated. And comparing him to Suarez and Lewandowski is ridiculous. Look, Suarez and Lewandowski, to be fair to them, they have brilliant stats. I'm not gonna look at them too much because, man, I'm trying to look at Lewandowski's goals right now, but I don't know why, but my computer's taking ages. We're about to get there. Like, Lewandowski's got 600 goals, 155 assists. But the thing I look at in terms of that is volume of games and injuries. Again, don't know what Lower's injuries are like, but Lower's played a lot more games than Sergio. And to be fair, even if Sergio had played the same amount of games, he's probably not scoring that amount of goals. But on a whole, I think the thing was with Sergio, he's got an incredible goal-to-game ratio, especially game to goal contribution ratio. I saw he said comparing Aguero to Haaland is ridiculous. Or his stats everything. Can you base your arguments purely off that? Take Hazard for example. It's disrespectful to Haaland. But look at Alf there. I don't think it's disrespectful. I don't. Sergio Aguero, especially when you're looking at it in a Man City context. Right now, Sergio Aguero has... Man, I say this, but then there's obviously Haaland in the treble season. Right now, for me, Sergio does have a better legacy. Okay? Like, don't get me wrong, if Haaland left now, he would get hailed for how good he was at City and everything he did for us as a team, just broke records for fun. But yeah, if Haaland left now, we'd praise him. But I think Aguero would overall have a better legacy for the 10 years he had here. Winning that Premier League title, a huge moment. No trophy, no like major title. I think it was in like over 40 years. I remember watching the timer tick down. Well, it is a controversial tweet. Yeah, he did. He did complete what the thing he was quoting. To be fair, opinion that'll have your club like this. And to be fair, he's hit the nail on the head. Some City fans would have been livid about that. I bet you if this had blown up, he's getting slated in the comments. And to be fair, these 5 comments very well could be. Aguero's our club all-time goal scorer. People act like Aguero's a horrible striker who's consistent throughout his career. The amazing thing about Sergio, Aguero is, despite getting all those injuries, he still pop up with 20 goals and at least 20 goals in a season. That was the amazing thing about Sergio. Yeah, he could pick up 5 injuries in a season, okay, and he'd still get you a solid amount of numbers that a lot of strikers can't even think of getting at the level he's going. Sergio, disrespect can't go past me. No, I would never speak bad of Sergio. Don't get me wrong. I think if Haaland completes 10 years, maybe I think Haaland needs a couple more moments, by the way, because like the moments of a footballer are what make you. Okay, you close your eyes and you think of Sergio. You might think of that wonderful goal where he was dribbling in the United box. You might think of obviously the QPR moment. You said people use world class too often, and I agree with you. Yeah, I do think that people use it too much. I don't think there's many world class players right now. Another thing we spoke about last night on the Blue Friday show. Yeah, I would never disrespect Sergio, especially for the era he joined us and everything he did for us. Smashed records himself. He is the all-time goal scorer for us. He is not. Sergio is easily top 3 in our history for the club. He's top 3. He's in there with David. He's in there with Company, and he's in there with De Bruyne. I know I said 4 players, but one of those obviously get knocked out. I need a Haaland moment in the final soon. It will come soon. He's scoring in loads of big games. It's just sad because teams are letting him down. I mean, it'd be nice if maybe FA Cup final, last minute winner, wouldn't it? Imagine the scenes. But we need to get there first, don't we? Yeah, Haaland needs a moment of his own because obviously I can think of great goals he scored. The Dortmund goal is ridiculous. Even the weird bicycle kick he did this season is ridiculous. And the bicycle kick he did against Southampton. He scores great goals, but he's yet to have an unbelievable strike. You've got to scroll down for it a bit, Glimpse, to be fair. Alf does tweet quite a bit. By the way, big ups to Patrick, true City fan. Big ups to everyone that's donated for that. He's raised an absolute ton of money in I think it's just over a week. I can't quite remember. But big ups to everyone that's donated there. It's huge. This team ain't beating Bournemouth, no way. Yeah. Let me hope. Yeah, but I would never dare to badmouth Sergio. He is unreal. I found it. Yeah, I think he's coming across not as he's meaning to here, Alf. I think he obviously respects Sergio a lot. Okay, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. Okay, and we spoke about it last night. Giving him the benefit of the doubt and all that. But I think it's just the way he came across. He didn't really sing Sergio's praises at all in this tweet. If he didn't really sing them whatsoever. And I just think if he sings them, it gives him the praise that he definitely deserves, then maybe it softens the blow a bit. I do want to see comments. Yeah, I'm looking at the replies to Alf's post on Aguero. Someone said rage bait. Someone said worst take I've ever seen so far. Horrible take, respectfully, but that is untrue. Is the word I will say. And yeah, just blatant insult to him than at the bottom. No need to go that far, but oh well. For me, Pep not getting top 5 after all January shocking from him. Telling someone that we won't get top 5. I love Pep, but decisions have been bizarre. I hate Messi and Ronaldo. They ruin football stats. I love aspects about Messi and Ronaldo. I love that. I've always been a fan of like the debate, but at the same time, they dominated football for years and kind of took the spotlight from certain players that probably deserved a little bit of it. Like, look, I'm not a Liverpool fan, but Virgil van Dijk could have done something special in that year. He came third in the Ballon d'Or. You know, just type aggro on Alf Twitter, and they'll have a look. Yeah, but yeah, just the pure domination. 70 GNA is normal and expected. I know, like genuinely, they were unreal, Messi and Ronaldo. Yeah, I'll always say Messi's better, but yeah, they were. To be fair, they were unreal, but it's just kind of messed around a little bit with the perception of football. But oh well, you know, I'm not going to complain at having top class players in the game. That's what we love to see. Yeah, but look, Alf's take is his take, and I just think if he maybe words it a bit better, I don't think he gets slated as much. But I know Madrid fans trying to push Valverde and Kimmich out of Ballon d'Ors, saying that they're the level of Rodri. Nah, like, I think Rodri's levels are being shown this season, and you might be wondering. No, you're not wondering because you're not daft. All right, but yeah, it's showing this season why Rodri won that Ballon d'Or, especially so. Look at us. Yeah, and I was about to mention Spain. Look at us. We're a shadow of the team we were last season, and we're a shadow of teams we have been in previous seasons. Spain struggling too. And when Rodri goes, imagine a donut, but it's jam filling. You know, we all know the kind of donut. Rodri is essentially, when you take Rodri out, okay, Spain's team is a donut. When you take Rodri out, it becomes a donut of a hole in the middle. Okay, and you can't fill that hole with anything. You know? Oh, Germans from England. I can confirm we've officially won the World Cup. Yeah, for me, I don't really know how England were. I know you won, and that's about it. I know there was Skelly and Kane scored. Don't know how you were though, but for me, I think you guys just got to wait until you get tested against Italy, Spain, take your pick, France, I don't know, and then you can truly look at the situation. Oh, great stream so far. Yeah, I mean, look, I've enjoyed the waffle. You know, I've enjoyed the waffle because there's nothing else to talk about. I enjoy the waffle. I enjoy it. Absolutely love it. Tuchel said we can do better on the first few words of the post-match interview. 3 favourite City games this season. You got to pick out the few, don't you? Probably because of vibes at the time. I'm going number 1. I'm going to start with my top. I'm going to start with I'm going to start with Marmoush hat-trick Newcastle game. You know, I know it was during a bad area, but on a whole, we did. It was good with that game. I just loved that game. Marmich getting the hat trick. The vibes were so good. Didn't he beat Forest 4-0? Oh, blinking at glimpse. Don't give us that much credit. It's 3-0. I'm also going to go with opening day. Opening day Chelsea. Again, vibes were great, and it was such a nice performance. You see, this is why I feel bad. Okay, first 20 minutes versus Arsenal. Was treble level. We had them on the ropes. The moment Rodri goes, the game changed. The game started to change. I just checked. Then it was 5 now. Are you talking about treble season? Wait, which Forest game are you talking about? We beat them 3-0 in December, if that's what you mean. Oh no, the KFC advert just popped up on my TV. Oh my lord. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's surreal. It's genuinely surreal. What is there to celebrate there? The most part about this advert is when City are losing at half time. I know. I know it's gonna come on and it's gonna ruin my vibes. You get what I mean? I know it's horrible to watch. It's so bad. I don't understand how that can get authorized in KFC headquarters, you know. Dad's thoughts on this season. Let's just say he's not a happy bunny. He's fuming this season, man. He's every time I say, yes, City playing this weekend, he's saying, oh yeah, who we against? I even said Salford. You know, when I said we were playing Salford, he goes, yeah, we'll lose to them. Is in terms of City and the performances this season, my dad just can't believe it. Of course, he's seen it all before. FYI, he's seen it all before. He's been there. He's seen that. When's he next on? Probably at this rate, not for a while. But probably cup final. I want to try to get him on for. He's seen the worst season in the past, though. Yeah, he has seen. But I think this one just still stings because it probably felt like he left those days behind. But man, he has left those days behind. Right now, if you told my dad 30 years ago, City will be 5th place in the Premier League, having a bit of a disappointing season, you snap your hand off. 5th in the league, and that's a disappointing season. Yeah, but hopefully I get my dad on soon. He cameos from time to time, coming up with some info to tell me and whatever. Yeah, but Chelsea Man City opening day, and what would be my third favourite match of the season? I gotta really have a think about this one. Don't get me started. Imagine this is City. Being 2-0 down at halftime to Tottenham, seeing that it's just going to get worse, and then that KFC advert came on. Imagine that is a world that happened. I think I'd lose it. I think it'd be the final straw. I think Liverpool, Arsenal, Forest, Brighton, Man City. Wait, that's your top 4. Wow, Brighton in there. Interesting. I can understand why you knocked Chelsea out. But to be fair, Brighton are like right behind us. In fairness, it's not a ridiculous shout. I think Brighton are really entering a good blip of form at the moment. It's just whether they keep it up for the next 9 games or 8 games. No, it's 9 games. Look at Brighton form. I know they've been on it. For me, them 4 games I thought was a blip in the international break. Yeah, I know. You thought, Spurs to who was it? Would it have been Brighton? Spurs to Brighton, losing those games. You thought it was just a bad blip. Yes, Geordie, welcome to the chat. By the way, congratulations on your win against Liverpool. Your first piece of silverware in a long time, to say the least. So congrats for that. And you knocked one off Liverpool, which is nice for us too. But yeah, once we lost to Spurs 4-0, that was just the assurance for me. It was like, okay, we are bad. There is no denying it. We are just bad. Yeah, from what I heard, I didn't watch all the game for Liverpool versus Newcastle, but from what I heard, Newcastle played brilliantly. Name me the last time Newcastle won a trophy. 1955. Don't ask me what trophy. I want to go on a revenge tour next year to connect. Yeah, I really want to hit back next season. I really want us to bounce back massively. I really do. See if we got anything else to talk about. Definitely don't want to talk about Trump. I mean, we should be looking at that, shouldn't we? Oh, blinking out. Okay, all right, you've got me there, Glimpse. You got me good there. Not just lost at Bournemouth. They destroyed. Yeah, they deserve that. 2-1 is flat. There's so many scorelines this season that flattered us. You know, so many. Foden the only one without a green rating. Yeah, that's kind of why I put it on screen. Oh, it's hard to watch, especially considering Rashford too. They've blurred it out for some reason. I don't know why he tied it. But yeah, it stinks, doesn't it? So many games this season have flattered City. You know, so many. I even think 3-2 against Real Madrid flattered us a bit. You know, because we were not the better team, but I felt that game up until the 81st minute smelled like getting a job done. You know, we were going to pull it off. Foden worst player on pitch last night. PSG 4, Man City 2. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. You know, that one was awful. That was so bad because despite 2-0 up, you're just making me angry thinking about it now. 2-0 up, and we bottled it in an amazing fashion. I don't even want to think about that game. Every ground we lost at, we need to get revenge. No more teams come to the Etihad and dominate 2 connect. Yeah, next season I want us to be invincible at the Etihad again. You know, I want that. I really do. Club better not raise ticket prices again if they do it after this season as well. Don't get me wrong, I don't think they should be doing it full stop. But if they do it after this season as well, nah. What am I witnessing? And what are we? Next season, Hull will be invincible. Hey, if you do that, that's quite the bounce back from relegation fight to invincible and probably getting promoted. Unless you draw all your games, and otherwise, you probably wouldn't get relegated. But it doesn't work the same because you got more games. You'd probably still be down there, wouldn't you? Yeah, if it happened now, yeah, you'd definitely still be down there. Liverpool froze ticket prices. West Ham did. You better follow City. Yeah, I mean, just I'd be happy getting relegated and drawing every game in the Prem. Hey, this season that would be enough. Remember Luca Talks Ball, lol. Yeah, do what's required. 100 people. Share. Like. Oh, he was obsessed with promoting it in your chat. Well, yeah, I know. But, look, guys, I've really enjoyed this. It's been a breath of fresh air. I think we should do more streams like this where we're just waffling. We're just talking about whatever, no specific topic, and we're just talking predominantly City, but a bit of just different sprinkles of football here and there. Well, I think we should try doing one of these once a week. Once a week. Have I checked? I did actually check them out briefly. You got a couple of laughs out of me, that's for sure. But yeah, I think a good waffle stream like this once a week would be awesome. Once a week, I think that'd be nice. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Big ups to you all. In terms of when I'll be streaming next, Connect Gaming will return tomorrow. I want to make a new video on here soon, so keep an eye out for a video over the next few days, possibly. No promises, because like I said, content is so dry at the moment. But yeah, we'll see. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you all in the next one. Never waffle again. See you later, guys.